Good morning, America. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Maria. What a beautiful, beautiful day to wake up to Trump train, baby.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Woohoo!
It's
Oh my
early in the
God.
morning here. That's why it's dark outside.
Yes, it is just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Clear sky when I let the dogs out this morning. Just beautiful, beautiful. God heard our prayers. Yep. The world was watching, the world was praying. It was just amazing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Beyond amazing.
Yes. I knew God would not let evil win. I knew it. Where'd my there it is. Get my So the one thing we saw that we talked about earlier was how it's affecting the other side.
Yeah.
And there was a short clip of a young gal who voted for Harris because Harris was spreading all these horrible, horrible, horrible lies.
Right.
Telling people that Trump was going to take their rights away from them, that abortion rights away from them, women's rights away from them, that he was going to do all these horrible, horrible, horrible things.
That women would have to start going to the back alleys again. And we want to kind of like explain to more of the people who don't understand when Trump says he's pro-life or when somebody believes in pro-life, what that means and what are they talking about? Are they willing to let a mother die? Are they willing to let a child die, vice versa? And what happens when you say you're pro-life as a president, like Trump does?
Okay.
Take out the...
Yeah. So this woman was crying because she didn't know if when she woke up the next morning, if she was going to have her rights anymore.
Yeah.
That's really sad. I mean, that's a really, really sad thing that thousands of people have been lied to for so long by the Democratic Party that they really believe these things are going to happen. Well, I can tell you they didn't happen the first time Trump was in the White House. And there were no wars when he was in the White House.
Not one.
You know, the only division that we had in this country was caused by the
Democrats.
Democrats and 19 Republicans. So I was really grateful to see new people, new Republicans getting in to the House and the Senate. I think it's so important. Maria talked about term limits earlier today, this morning when we were talking before we came on.
Personally.
I think that's a great idea. And I believe that there are many in Congress that believe that as well. You know, you've got people now. Nancy Pelosi won her district. She's going to be 90 in a couple of years. You know, what the hell? I would want to take time to spend with my family. Got all those millions of dollars. I'd like to go and treat my family to a wonderful vacation. Spend some time with my grandchildren, you know. Spend some time with the great-grandchildren. Really honor that life. But that's not what she'll do. She'll continue to stay in the White House and continue to spread her ugliness. And that's really unfortunate.
Well, she's not in the White House anymore. And that is fortunate.
She's not. I thought she
Pelosi, right. Pelosi. I'm thinking Harris. Yeah, well, here's the thing with Pelosi and aging and what happened with Biden. You know, there has to be some kind of a term limit. There really has to be in terms of age. And And the thing is with anything with Alzheimer's, whether you are just aging naturally and you're losing your memory on a natural level, you are not, when you're in your 80s, sometimes mid to late 80s, there are going to be changes to the way you remember things, or the way, listen, with age comes certain progressions of decline. And, it's one thing if you're an independent 80-year-old, and I know a lot of them that are still driving, but they're not running the country.
Right.
And there's the difference. So they know their stories, they know their numbers, they know how to talk to their accountants, but it's different on the world stage of running a country, because the stress on that is so demanding and so high, and there are just too many world issues, not just America's issues, but world issues that we have to consider. War is one of them. War might be happening in the Middle East, but we have to consider how that would affect us here, how that will affect us here, and how involved America needs to be or not be. And those are huge decisions. I mean, mind-blowing decisions.
Right.
So if you are not up to an adequate mindset, you should not be sitting in the White House. And Harris lied about it from a couple of years now, of the declining president who was sitting there, Biden, and she lied to the American people. That was one of the reasons I believe she didn't get in. The second one was, when you do nothing for race relations, or you do nothing for the border and keeping America's borders safe, and you visit twice, or you take a photo op, or and you're not there doing what you need to be doing, well, you are the vice president to the president of the United States. You're not going to be doing that moving forward.
Right.
If you become president. So you have to look at people's patterns and what they've done. And, it's just,
you can't just vote because somebody's
is a woman,
a certain race, or because someone's of a certain gender. You can't go based on that. Martin Luther King said it in his speech. You have to go by character of the person. You can't go by what color they are. Obama gave beautiful speeches, and so millions of people voted for him because he was a man of color, and because he gave beautiful speeches, beautiful speeches. And what we discovered was that he wasn't a good president at all. And in his second term, he showed how much of a not good person he is. So, it's just all this division in this country. Oh man, I tell you, I could not watch all of it last night. We watched some movies, and we'd go back and forth and look at the numbers and go, yay, and then, oh no, and then, oh, and so we just said enough. We'll look at it later. So about 2:00 this morning, Jim looked at it, and it was like Trump won. So we weren't sure. We didn't want to believe it yet. So we went on and we found it. And at that time, he had 277 electoral votes at that time. So at that time, he had won based on electoral votes. And he flipped several blue states. I wish
Pennsylvania being one of them.
Yes, a big one.
Big one.
Yep. And Nevada, he flipped Nevada. He did get Nevada. And But yeah, here in Minnesota, we're so screwed. We're so screwed in Minnesota. It's not even funny. Tim Walz, of course, Harris's VP choice.
He's coming back to you.
Oh, we're so excited. Not.
No.
We are not excited that he's coming back because, you know, this is a guy that puts tampons in boys' bathrooms across the state. This isn't just down in the cities where he's at. This is across the state. They're letting children dress up like dogs and cats and whatever, and putting litter boxes in grade schools, elementary schools. Yeah, if I hear of a kid shitting in a litter box one time in class, I'm going to be like,
I'm not sure that they're actually using them. I'm hoping not.
I'm hoping not.
The thing, when my kids were growing up, I'm not going to say the name because God forbid she sees this and I'm talking about her kid. But there was a little boy and who played with my kids, and it was at somewhere we all met during the weekends for a reason. I'm trying to be vague. Anyway, this little boy used to carry around a Barbie doll. Loved the Barbie doll. Not sure where he got the Barbie doll, whether I knew his mom bought it for him or he got it from a cousin or whatever, but he loved this Barbie doll. And it kind of went everywhere he went, and he played with dolls. The little boy now is married, and I have only seen him a couple of times, but I don't believe he holds any traits of somebody who is looking the other way. Mm-hmm. And that wouldn't matter to me whether he did or not, because, if my children were gay, I would think life is going to be much more difficult for them. Mm-hmm. It would be a concern. Mm-hmm. But I do not believe if my children were gay, which they're not, but if they were, that you can make them not gay. However, I think that it's different when you're talking about changing their sex, so their gender. Yes. So if you had this little boy today, he might have been spoken to in school at a very young age, and I'm talking about 4 years old when I met him. He was 3 or 4, holding the Barbie doll. So if I, as an adult, sat with that little boy and said, well, I see that you have that nice little dolly there, and boy, is she pretty. You would love to dress up like that dolly. In a creative mind, in a creative 4-year-old's mind who is not thinking about sex on any level,
right?
They would say, yeah, that might be fun. And as an adult, I can manipulate, steer, and change that very undeveloped mind to believe that, well, you know what, baby? Did you tell mommy and daddy? Mommy and daddy said, no, I can't do that. No, you know what? We don't have to tell mommy and daddy. You're in school now. This will be our secret. So I will teach you, when you come to school, you can wear dresses and have that doll. And your mommy and daddy never have to know. That is sick.
Yeah.
That is, it's sick and it's wrong on every level. That me as an adult would take my ideologies and my personal opinions and place them on an undeveloped mind of a 4-year-old. Right. It is also sick. Listen, I know gay people. I think that a lot of them that I've met, especially one of the nurses that took care of my father was gay. The most beautiful person on earth. I'd love my children if they were. I might be upset that life would be more difficult for them. I wouldn't think, obviously you don't want your children to go through difficulties in life. So you hope that they are on a path of no difficulties.
Mhm.
But if they are gay, that's one thing.
Yeah.
Let their minds develop at 25, 20. Everybody differs on this. I hear 25, I've heard 26, I think you said 28 or something.
Mhm.
But in their mid 20s,
Right.
at least then they have an almost fully developed mind. They
Mhm.
are
Yeah.
capable of making a much better decision for their lives
Right.
than the children
Right.
who are committing suicide because
Yeah.
they've changed their gender. Or
Yeah.
and these are on YouTube videos. These are young adults speaking about it
Yep.
themselves.
Yep. And it's
Or
irreversible.
regretting it. You know, a male who has his privates removed
Mhm.
can't get them back.
No.
They will not function the same way.
Exactly.
A female who changes over, she might be able to go into the men's room and use a tampon, but she is still holding female organs.
Mhm.
She can flip over much easier, but psychologically,
Mhm.
you steer, manipulate, take your ideologies, pour them into an undeveloped baby.
Yeah.
You're plain mad scientist, Frankenstein.
Yeah.
These are
It's-
not healthy children because they have not grown up to make their own decisions.
Right.
These are parents who
Mhm.
have some kind of a fantasy, or if the parents don't know about it, these are schools who are playing into a child's fantasies.
Well, that's the new rule. That's the new law set by Tim Walz. And it was an executive order. They took it offline. I shared it with a whole pile of people because they didn't want to believe me. But if that little boy went to school and said, "No, my parents don't like it. My parents don't like it," they could legally, according to Minnesota law now, take that child without the parents' knowledge and keep that child away from those parents or parent and get that child mutilated on taxpayer dollars
You might
and
as well-
destroy that child's life.
Yeah. And here's maybe a silly example, but it's real.
Yeah.
You will be arrested if I take your pet and dye it black if it's a white dog. Or if
Mhm.
I take your pet and mutilate its tail. Well, your pet told me to. Somebody might say, but a child can speak. A pet cannot understand language.
Yeah.
No. A child doesn't understand language. They understand the words,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't understand the depth of the language.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
a child's undeveloped mind does not understand manipulation.
No.
A child's undeveloped mind does not understand your ideologies and your
Mhm.
personal preferences
Mm-hmm.
that you are steering and pouring into them.
Yeah.
A child doesn't understand that. So you might as well be talking to an animal.
Yep.
If I took your animal and did that to your animal,
Mm-hmm.
changed its sex, I would be arrested. If
Yep.
I'm a teacher who takes your child
Mhm.
and manipulates them and starts giving them
Yeah.
hormones,
Yeah.
change their
That's just-
gender,
wow. That's just,
I'm in the
you know,
right and the parents get their child taken away.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with the CPS system that
Yep.
they are allowing this. There's
Mhm.
something wrong with our courts that they're allowing this. Now that Trump's in,
Now that Trump's in,
these
he-
things are going to change.
yeah, he's getting
There
rid
is
of
something
CRT.
wrong when you have a school with a man with hair on his legs. It's different if you have an adult who's changed over and the children don't understand that it's not really a woman,
Right.
or they identify as a woman. But when you have it's okay for Johnny to have two dads who come to the school and read to the kids.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. It's
Yeah.
also okay if a mother and a father go to the school and read to the kids.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing. Two mommies, it's okay.
Yeah.
When you start playing God and you
Mhm.
start wearing dresses and you're physically looking like a man with a mustache and a dress, what you're doing is you are confusing. And I understand what they're trying to do. They're trying to make the children used to it, because their theory is if they get used to seeing these things, they won't be such a big thing to them.
Yeah.
That's the theory.
I
Thank
am
God for our military. They're gonna have somebody who can lead them.
Yeah, I'm setting my alarm
Military.
for our cutoff. This is how we're going to teach ourselves
Yeah,
when to be
we
done.
have a time limit. The show's over at a certain time.
Yeah. So I'm saving that. Okay. Oh, no, not that time. Got it. What a goofball. Okay. Whoop. Save. No.
I love
Okay.
Cynthia's hat. Very nice. I'm kind of jealous. I feel like I'm not supporting him enough by not wearing my hat. Listen, I love Trump. I don't care. Let's not get into, things that he's done on a personal level. He's running the country okay. His personal life, that's for his wife and his children. Just like John F. Kennedy's was for his wife, for his children.
Yep.
Just like Clinton, who was in the Oval Office, his wife and his children. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested, can they run our military?
Yep.
They support our police to do the best job they can do. And can they implement foreign policy that works?
Yeah.
And speak to foreign leaders, even dictators, and people that we fear, in order to speak to them, to simmer them down.
Right.
I haven't met a president who knows how to do that better than Trump. I haven't met him, by the way. But
He is out there somewhere.
He's out there somewhere. He hasn't come over my house lately. But I haven't met any president that I've seen do that in a long time. I think Reagan was one of the people who can do that. Reagan had great foreign policy skills. He also knew how to run our military. And our military does take their orders from our president. So we need to have somebody that they respect.
Right. Yeah. And they have great respect for Donald Trump. They really do. President Trump. Oh my God, how wonderful that he won. Oh my gosh. Trump train, bitches.
I am so happy.
Yes.
Can't tell you.
So we're going to start a little store, if you will, Maria and I. If we get it ready, we could actually have things up for sale for Christmas. So I'm going to shoot for that. I know Maria does beautiful work. And so between the two of us, we're going to do candles.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a variety of candles. We're going to have a variety of
shirts.
Shirts. T-shirts. Original designs and common designs. And what is it? Epoxy resin. Epoxy resin.
Love epoxy resin. I love it. Oh my God. I watch those videos all the time. I know.
Yeah. So we're going to have some of that.
Yeah. It's so much fun.
It is. It's a blast.
And she's like, well, you've always been creative. We talked about your art on the last show. You gotta go see that.
Well, enough of that. But you'll see things like that in the store, in our little shop.
A lot of fun.
I'll figure out how we can get that on there as a part of our show so that all you'd have to do is click on a link and it'll take you right to the shop. Now I'm thinking, so we'll talk about those things after the show today.
Why don't we talk about his pro-life stance and what that means.
Yes. Perfect. Yeah. So I want to be really, really crystal clear about this Roe versus Roe versus Wade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that was not of Trump's doing at all. Trump did not put these conservative judges into the Supreme Court just so that they would overturn Roe v. Wade. The reason they overturned Roe v. Wade was because it has nothing to do with the Constitution. The Supreme Court is about the Constitution. If you can prove to the Supreme Court that someone is not following the Constitution, the United States Constitution, then you'd have a case. But abortion and having babies or not having babies is not in the Constitution. There's not an amendment to the Constitution that speaks to that. And if you want to check it out, you can go and buy this book and check it out for yourself. Okay? So Trump didn't do that. The Supreme Court did that ruling. And then what happened with that was the Democrat Party decided to turn that into something very ugly. It's not very ugly at all. What it did was it turns it over to into the states who have an issue with their abortion laws. You can certainly go and rally and what is it? Not a rally, but what is it, Maria?
Protest.
Protest. Thank you. You can go to your state government and protest if you want them to change.
Write letters to your state government.
Yeah.
Explaining. And Trump is not talking about let's just face it. He's talking about he doesn't want people using it as birth control.
Right.
He's not saying under an extreme case, if a 6-year-old is raped, that 6-year-old should not be able to abort the baby as early as possible. Okay? Because psychologically having that happen, he's not talking about that. He's not talking about extreme cases. He's talking about the young women who feel that abortion is their birth control. He's talking to the people who feel that having 5, 6, 7, 8 abortions is okay. It's not okay.
Yeah.
At that point, you should be committing a crime because
well,
it is how many
common
abortions?
sense.
It's common sense.
Yeah.
There are so many ways. We said there's plan B. If you've slept with somebody and you feel that you might be pregnant, plan B, go to your pharmacy. You don't even need a prescription.
No.
Just say, I want plan B.
Yeah.
Okay, you're done. You're not pregnant.
The other one,
Don't wait.
put a raincoat on that thing.
Right. We spoke about this the last time. Protect yourself whether you're a man or a woman. Men don't expect a woman to protect herself only. Protect yourself because you're going to be
two.
daddy and that woman's going to take you to court to support that kid.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
and
right.
that is your kid. You laid in bed with her. Okay. Had a good time. Well, guess what? That produces a child. Same for women. So have some decency to not look at abortion as a way of birth control. Mistakes are made, and I get it. If there's a rape, if it's a death, if the mother's life is at stake and she just finds out she's pregnant, if she gets cancer and she needs chemo, there are certain things that they can do.
Extenuating circumstances.
Right. That if you need that abortion, that should be available to you under those conditions. But don't use abortion as a way to say, well, screw it, it's my body, and if I want to get pregnant 10 times and kill the kid, I will.
Yeah.
You know, abortion should be a way, under certain circumstances, to use that avenue, that medical avenue. But, you know, there are a lot of, if you are holding the baby for 5 to 6 months and you've got 4 more months to go, give that child to somebody who wants it.
Yeah.
Plus the fact now, many hospitals and just centers have what they call that safe box.
Yep.
It's a safe box where you can drop the baby off
Yep.
in this box. Somebody's on the other end. They take the child, they bring it to a hospital, and the child can be given to a couple who desires to have a baby.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have these young girls, I've seen this a couple of times this year, where they have the babies, whether it's in a bathroom or somewhere else, and they kill the baby after birth. The baby's already born.
Yeah.
Take the baby to one of these safe boxes, and young girls, this is what they should educate them on.
Yeah.
Not convincing a child to change their gender.
Right.
Or taking them away from good parents.
Right. That's so messed up. That is so messed up. Waking up this morning to Donald Trump winning, oh my gosh, and JD Vance, oh my gosh, you know, it's just awesome. And Elon Musk, oh man, what a crew. What a crew.
I love him.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, you know, I mean, the system has to change. I'm hoping that Donald Trump gives the parents back the rights to parent their child.
Yep.
Not your child.
That's right.
I hope that that if CPS does do that, that there are some fines and some consequences to them stealing people's children and giving them.
Right.
And I am sorry, it is my opinion. We're going to put that in the disclaimer.
Yeah, we'll put a disclaimer
We
in.
have an opinion on what's going on in the system.
Correct.
And that's all it is.
Correct.
But I do feel that when there are good parents and they love their children and they just want to give them the best in life, to decide when they're older, let them play with the doll, let the girl play with the truck, let them become, you know, like you know, a girl can become a truck driver or a policeman, a boy can become a ballerina. It always was happening. Nobody stopped it. Nobody said that a male cannot, you know, wear ballerina shoes and be on a stage or do things that some would be considered feminine. Yeah. Nobody's stopping that. No. And the fact that you feel that cutting off their genitalia in their very undeveloped minds and steering them and convincing them, because somebody who has an undeveloped mind, if you have an adult and they have the mind of a 4 and 5-year-old, you would say, well, I can't. You understand mental illness more than you understand a child who's developing normally, but they're not at that level of understanding yet.
Right.
Just giving them that chance. If your child says at 25, hey, I'm a boy or I'm a girl and I want to change my gender, well, at that stage of the game, you can't really stop them if that's what they're going to do. You'll advise them, you'll tell them how life is, and they have to make their choices. But when they are innocent, children with minds that are undeveloped yet, they're developing, but they're not yet there. Consider that. And the teachers, the teachers that think that they need to keep their jobs, that they should do this. Quit.
What do they think? There are a lot of teachers in this state that have quit
your job. If you take a child,
a lot of teachers here
and
have
you
quit their
move
jobs,
with that movement,
which is sad,
of of feeding that child medication,
Mm-hmm.
you're committing, I'm sorry, under God's law, and I'm sorry I'm going to say this, Cynthia, I apologize, my opinion, under God's law, you're committing a sin. Don't
Yes.
call yourself a Christian. I don't know what other religions believe in, but I'm telling you, you're a teacher and you're taking that child away from good parents and you're feeding them medication to change their gender. My opinion, only my opinion, which might not mean anything to anybody, you're committing a sin.
So our alarm went off.
Okay, we're done. Cynthia wants out.
We get, we're so passionate about some things. This is one of the things that Maria and I are so passionate about because we're so
Unbelievable.
concerned for these children who they just don't have them. They have no experience. They have no life experience to make a decision like that. That's why they're children. That's why they can't drink till they're 21. That's why they can't smoke until they're 21. That's why they can't get a driver's license until they're 18.
You were
14,
talking about
16.
The furries. You were talking about the little child
Yeah.
with the litter box in school.
Yeah.
The child might want to
Unbelievable.
play cat, might want to imagine it. And
Yeah.
I used to have Fred Flintstone, George Washington, and Lincoln at the same table when I used to in kindergarten, and I would have tea parties all the time
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah.
And those were the guests: the Flintstones, the Lincoln,
Mhm.
George Washington with the Flintstones,
Yeah.
and I'd have my doll, and I gave them tea. Now, if somebody said
that's-
"Ooh, that's normal to have an imagination
Yeah.
at a young age, but it's not normal to convince them that that is reality.
Absolutely. And that's a great place to end right there. Thank you.
Do the disclaimers though.
I will do the disclaimers for sure.
So important.
It's been a great pleasure having all of you with us today.
Trump
Trump train,
2024 to
Oh,
20.
yeah.
Love Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And, oh,
Good.
and by the way, just one more
powerful
thing.
energy.
all the states turned red because you have so many people who are afraid to come out and say they supported Trump.
Absolutely.
Lied that they
Absolutely.
supported Harris but voted for Trump.
Yeah.
And that should tell you the
That was so
mindset of the
great.
country,
Oh my
where
God,
we're
it's
at.
so great. And to think RFK is a part of this group, this amazing group. of
Historic. It's a
people.
historic
Oh
moment.
my gosh, it is. It is so, oh my gosh. So with that, our lovely, lovely audience,
Love you.
please, watch to the end, because watching to the end makes the algorithms go click, 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 click. And that gets us more, recognition. It gets out more.
Like,
And
share, and subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe,
That notification bell.
and the notification bell. And I know my little buttons on there didn't work, so remember to do that when you're finished watching the video. Thank you so much. Thank you. We love you. And let us know what you think about our show. Oh my gosh,
Keep
we're
it clean.
excited. Keep it clean. So bye for now. Say goodbye, Maria.
I'm so glad we had this time together.
Together.
Bye. See you later.
All right, and we're out. Stay safe out there. God bless.
God bless.